Yeah, we're coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jetliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin-yang, come along.
Come on along and welcome aboard the Indiana Sports Beat with Coy O'Leary coming to you here on this Thursday, June 11th from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. As always, got a great show on tap for you. Wes Martin, former Hoosier, now in the NFL, going to join us. Also, we're going to talk to Dave Torphy, cousin of Bill Torphy. There's a documentary tonight, one of two, as IU takes over BTN again today, but it's called Not Pictured. Kind of a really cool story of a member or members of the 1940 Indiana National Championship team, Todd, that were kind of lost. The quick story is back in 1940, Indiana actually got to go to the NCAA tournament because Purdue turned it down for whatever reason, and Indiana goes and wins the daggone thing. But you're only allowed to take 12 guys to travel, and it was at Kansas, so Bill Torphy didn't get to go on the trip, and so they used the team photo from the championship of that. So everybody that wasn't there was not in the championship photo forever, and they also use that as the roster forever. But now they've kind of fixed it. But there's a documentary tonight at 7:30 on BTN. But we're talking to Dave Torphy later on today from Bedford. They're Bedford guys, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I didn't even realize that. I remember back in the early 70s hearing some of the rules about how the NIT was done back then and different things. And then the NCAA tournament when it really got going. And there used to just be some goofy rules with who was invited, like you're saying. And, Purdue turning it down, obviously it didn't used to be as big a deal. It was just strange. But yeah, that's I'm interested to see that documentary because I know there's been a thing for years about how the actual picture of that championship team is not the full team, and I've never really known the whole story of it. So I'm interested to see it.
Actually, they had like 24 guys on that team because
that's because they also had like a freshman team and stuff like that.
Players,
too, back then.
Practice players, they included everything. But Torphy was actually a part of the team, and they're from Bedford, which is cool. But then he goes off into World War II fighting for the country and unfortunately did not make it back from Normandy, France. But it's an amazing story, and it's glad to see that it's been kind of rectified, but it's also great to see it's going to be on BTN tonight. But speaking of BTN, it's IU Day again, starting today at 6 a.m., so it's already rolling till 5 a.m. tomorrow. All kinds of stuff. I don't have the whole lineup, but of course, they're going to play the watch shot. But part of the reason is there's another documentary on him after that. I think that's at 9:30. So there's a couple documentaries tonight on BTN, but it's IU Day, so you can go watch all baseball. There's football, there's basketball, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they'll probably replay the soccer documentary and
yes,
everything.
They are.
Families.
They are.
That'll be full day of IU. It's hard to beat that.
Yeah, it's definitely going. But you got your full menu there, no doubt. NASCAR was in action last night. They were in Martinsville. It's a speedway that looks like a paper clip. It's like 1 mile, but it looks like a paper clip. So no, a lot of beating and banging there. But Martin Truex Jr. wins that. But the reason I bring that up more so is I've been thinking, with all the quest for better race relations in the world going on right now, especially with sports organizations, NASCAR is an organization that has the biggest hill to climb if you think about who their fan base is. But to me, they've done a heck of a job. They've really gotten out in front of it. They've made some great strides. Bubba Wallace, his car was all decked out last night, and they've done a lot. Banning the Confederate flag was a gigantic one. But I think that should have been done. I think that should be done just for rights of treason against America. But You're exactly right. They have the biggest hill to climb. They've also already probably changed the most, but they just have, so many aspects of the way NASCAR, has grown and gotten bigger over the years. It needs to change. I mean, just like, a lot of things in society, but sports wise, NASCAR is one of them that, has the biggest hurdle to climb, and they're doing a good job. I think the awareness is there, and
It's just one of those scenarios that it's probably going to take longer in that sport than it is in NBA basketball, for example.
Yeah, no doubt. I mentioned a couple of days ago, Jeffersonville High School, their former coach, Don Poole. He was a legend, 4 times to the Final Four. Just a great deal down there. They're going to be turning on the lights on their baseball stadium, I think, tonight at dusk, and then tomorrow. And they've asked other schools around the state to join in. So kind of a touching tribute to Coach Don Poole.
Well, I mean, is it just because we're so aware of the COVID and everything that's going on? It just seems like a lot of administrators and former high school coaches in the state of Indiana have passed in the last several months.
I'm telling you, you're not. I'm right there with you.
Is it always that way? Is it always that way? Or are we just more aware of it?
I'm gonna have to think that we're just being more aware of it right now, because otherwise it would be an unbelievable weird streak. But you're right. I mean, it sure seems like there's a. Well, I think maybe the COVID has added to it, just because there's been some people involved with that. But yeah, you're right. It's definitely catches your attention now.
Yep. And the schools have done a fantastic job as a group all across the state in recognizing. I mean, we've lost some terrific athletic directors and some coaches and just people associated with programs, and the whole state has really done a great job of recognizing how important those individuals are to the young kids that have gone through those particular, not just high schools, but communities in general.
There's been a rights groups and athletes have asked the NCAA to move tournaments from Idaho over transgender law. Man, there's going to be everything's going to be so touched by everything. It's not just that. We got the name, image, likeness stuff going on. I mean, think about all of the turmoil type of things that are all going on at one time. Everything is hitting at once.
Yeah, it's just at some point it almost starts to get overwhelming when you look at all the issues that need to be resolved, and then how do you prioritize? Like right now, how do we prioritize health and safety with the COVID situation, with social turmoil that's going on? I mean, there's just so many different aspects of things that need to be changed, and those don't even address what the NCAA started the year out hoping to address in the name, image, likeness, and the one-time transfer rule eligibility. It's just there's just people are going to be who have maybe from a daily hour perspective have not worked as hard over the last few months because of working from home. Well, they're going to be putting in some major hours in the next couple of months because there's just so many decisions that have to be handled.
And not only that, we talk about, you look at NASCAR as an example, but they've had like 7 races in 25 days. But then look at this life, all the things that didn't happen over the course of 3 months that you go back and you got to do, man, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's kind of squeezed in.
Yeah. I'm wondering what my feelings are going to be like about certain things. So one of the things every year, obviously the NCAA tournament, and that's not rescheduled and going to happen. But also one of the things I always look forward to every year is the Masters. And they've moved that to November. And at first I thought that was a great decision, but I'm wondering if as it gets closer to that time of year, there'll be enough going on. There'll be college football, there'll be college basketball, there'll be other things going on. And I wonder if I'll just, at that point, it's not going to be the same. And I wonder if I will just have wished they just canceled it and moved it to next year and just skip this year because, we missed it in April like it's always done. And now I've kind of adjusted to the fact that it didn't happen. Yes, of course, I'll be interested in watching it if it's in November, but I almost just wonder. It's like the NBA is getting ready to restart. Honestly, I really think they'd have been better off if they'd have just canceled the season. It'll be interesting because there's something to watch on TV, but that's about it. Like, I don't know that the champion this year is really going to be crowned the champion just because everything's so different.
A lot of discussion in regards to the Indianapolis 500. There's been some people that say if there are no fans, don't have it, which I think is ludicrous.
Well, I think didn't Penske come out? Didn't Roger Penske come out yesterday or the day before and say if they can't have fans, they won't run the race?
They did. There has to be a financial reason for that. But why cancel it? I mean, everything else is going on. The NASCAR is going on. They already had an IndyCar race. The IndyCar season has started, so why would you not have it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that is very similar to the Masters, in my opinion, in that, it's kind of, the Masters is kind of synonymous with springtime. I mean, it's that early, it kind of gets things jumped off. It's because, the flowers are blooming. It's that time of year or that time of year. And the Indianapolis 500 is the same way. I mean, I'm from Indianapolis and we're from the state of Indiana. We kind of recognize the whole month of May. You remember they changed that years ago. Remember, it used to be, there was 2 or 3 weekends of qualifying before the race. And then, at that point, the race happened at the end of the month. But the whole month of May was really dedicated to the Indianapolis 500. And, that's even changed now. But I just wonder how much more that'll change, not having it in the month of May at all.
Not just that, but think about all the things that go along with it, all the Indianapolis 500 festivities in May. It's the start of spring. It's the start of, the outgoing summer kind of deal. So,
yeah, no, it really is. It'll just be different. I mean, we're all going to have to adjust to some different things that are going on, and that's going to be one of them for sure. I just don't know. I guess I don't know if college basketball said, hey, you know what, we're thinking about coming back and having finishing the Big Ten tournament and having the NCAA tournament right now. I mean, I'm past it. I've already mentally moved on. So I almost kind of wish the NBA had done the same thing.
Let's see, 17,000 fans times $73 average seat equals $1.2 million loss per home game if no fans. How does IU and other colleges handle the loss per game until fans are allowed back? From Tim. Good question. Big Ten media money.
I mean, is that 17,000? Is he given the football stats? Is that the football attendance? Is that the football attendance?
I guess you could insert either.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be very difficult. I mean, think about it. What's a place like Ohio State do with 100,000 fans at a football game? I mean,
dude, now you talk about losing money. Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, yep. Tennessee, all those schools with 100,000 seat stadiums that are freaking full every game. Oh my gosh, they are losing. They are just hemorrhaging money. It's impossible to quantify how much it would cost, not just the universities, but think about it. In a place like that, I mean, we know what it's like in Bloomington with the, I'll just say, fractional amount of tailgating that takes place compared to an Ohio State or a Penn State or a Michigan. And you talk about the whole city in general and the revenue lost when it comes to not having fans at a venue like that. So, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, there's just I can't even begin to quantify how much it's going to cost the universities, and hopefully it's mitigated. We got a big show coming up. Wes Martin is going to join us up next. Stay tuned. You're listening to Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle Leary coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Hey, if you're looking for something for Father's Day, French Slick's got a deal for you. You can play the Donald Ross course with Pops. He gets to play for just $1 if you play your full round. Give him a call down at French Slick course. We're back with more from Indiana Sports Beat right after this.
Everybody, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
I'm Rain Shaddy, and I'm a Hoosier. As a toddler, you could always find me running around in a cream and crimson onesie and a red IU hat reminiscent of those worn during the world-famous William Tell timeout, shouting, "Go Hoosiers!" Like many other alum, I chose to make Bloomington my home. As a civic and alumni leader, I have become very knowledgeable about our community and would love to share my insights with you as your realtor. Find me on Facebook or call or text me, Ryan Shaddy, with FC Tucker Bloomington Realtors at 765-623-9093.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the golf club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. This is Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary. Indiana Sports Beat is now a part of the Rivals Network. You can go to thehoosier.com to sign up. It's free. Catch the show there each day live or at your convenience. You can also like or follow us on Facebook, follow the show's rebroadcast anywhere you podcast. If we're not on a radio station where you live, we should be. Let your local station know they need to carry Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary, or simply go to thehoosier.com.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
This is former Indiana basketball player Brian Evans, and you're listening to Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry. Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat. Coyle Leary coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios on this Thursday. Joined now by Wes Martin, former Hoosier, now a Washington Redskin. Wes, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. I'm just living the quarantine life still a little bit. Open up, so.
Have you got inducted into the hog? You're going to be a hog, man. Have you thought about that? I mean, I know that there's just that special group back in the day, the Redskins, but it's kind of cool that to be a part of an organization that had something like that.
Yeah, no, it is for sure pretty awesome, and it's still something that gets talked about quite a bit. And it sets a standard for the guys that are here now, and gives us an added thing to play towards.
And as hard as everybody that's there works their tails off, we all know that. But when you're around, and I don't know if you've had a chance because of all the things that have gone on, but to be around working out with guys that you've watched play on TV, and now you're a colleague. That's got to be kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, through this last year, I remember last summer, my first day in, first mini camp. You go in and you see some guys that you've grown up your whole life watching, and then you end up playing with them. And it's definitely pretty wild.
And then, of course, 1 year you're playing college football, and then all of a sudden, the next year you're playing in the NFL. And not only that, but as a rookie, getting to play. Not a lot of rookies get to see the field a lot, but you did.
Yeah, it was a great experience. It was a great learning experience to be able to get out there and be out there young, and I just tried to soak it up the best I could, and allow that to kind of teach me moving forward.
With all that's going on with the COVID-19, the pandemic, and the shutdowns, because being a second-year guy coming in, there's still a lot to learn. I don't know if people understand. They think when you get out of college and go to the NFL that the schooling's over. Man, it's not, is it? Are you doing as much or more reading now than you did when you were in college?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more than college. There's a lot more. The whole systems are a lot more complex up here. There's a lot to learn, a lot to study. It goes a lot further in depth. It's there's a whole lot to learn. That's for sure.
Hey, Wes, we talk a lot about, this upcoming basketball season at Indiana. We've got freshmen coming in, and we talk a lot about the transition from high school to college and what a big jump that is, and everyone is bigger and more physical and all that. Is the jump, like, I've never really asked someone who, obviously you're a grown man by the time you get to the NFL, do you kind of feel that same way again? Or is it less of a difference or a bigger difference? What's it like going from the college ranks where you're still playing against huge athletes to just, the biggest people on the planet when you get to the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely another step up there. I think playing in the Big Ten East helped me prepare for that. A lot of the D linemen I was playing against, go on to play in the league. So I think that helps. But there's definitely some freakish people you come across.
Yeah, we get to see them on Sundays, luckily. What's it been, the lifestyle change for you? Moving to the DC area, just a whole lifestyle change.
I try to think my lifestyle change hasn't changed too much. But definitely living in a different part of the country. Had never visited DC before I got drafted here. I don't think I'd ever really been to Virginia either. Northern Virginia, DC, it's pretty great out here though. It's a lot different than Indiana and Ohio. But it's nice. We like it a whole lot.
Now, looking toward the season, we know again with everything that's going on, there's going to be. Have you thought about playing in a stadium? There will be fans, but I don't know if the NFL is going to use any kind of social distancing or if they're just going to fill the stadiums. But if they didn't, what would that be like to play in a stadium without fans?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a little awkward at first. I think. I think it ended up turning into almost like we're out on the practice field, that sort of atmosphere. Like if you're having a joint practice, just from it would kind of strip away the home field advantage aspect of things. Some teams that have teams that have a super loud, home field, that would kind of dissipate. It'd be a little different, but at the end of the day, I mean, you're still going to go out and play ball.
As far as the season coming around, you guys, I think there's some expectations this year for continued improvement for the Skins.
Yeah, I would say so for sure. I think we had a lot of young guys playing last year. There was a lot of excitement building around that, and not just the young guys, but everyone across the board. I think there's a lot of great things in store for this year.
Who's the biggest fan you've found out that's a fan of the Skins, Redskins, that you've found out about, celebrity-wise?
I'd have to say Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Oh yeah, he's a big time Redskins fan.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is, I know that.
Yeah, that would be.
But
Does McConaughey talk in that real low, calm voice when he comes around you?
He talked to the team one time last year, and he sounds like he does in his films.
I did not know he was a Redskins fan. That's funny, but it's funny how there's never always a rhyme or reason why somebody becomes a fan. I grew up an LA Rams fan, just because my cousin was when I was a kid, because he was a Rams fan. It's just weird how some of the things start. Who did you grow up? Who was your team when you were growing up?
Actually, when I was pretty young, I used to root for the Raiders. That was just because my mom was a fan, and I just kind of picked that up from her.
That's exactly as it was with my cousin. And did that go once you started becoming a big time player yourself? Did that go away, or did you maintain being a fan of a particular team?
I think it definitely started to fade. And once going through college, realizing you might have a shot to play in the league, I think that kind of fades, and you just become excited and grateful that you might get a chance to play on any team.
So, being from the state of Ohio, if you had to pick, would you have been a Browns fan or a Bengals fan?
I don't know. There's a pretty even split in my hometown as far as Bengals and Browns fans. So that'd be tough.
A friend of our show, Pat Graham, is a long time and dedicated Cleveland Browns fan. So I tried to read in this piece as much as possible about how many people from the state of Ohio are not even.
Yeah.
Well, Wes, what's up next for you? I know that they're trying to get geared towards getting the NFL season started. Everything started this year. What's it looking like for you guys?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Just like us, or us, just like everyone else, we're just kind of sitting and waiting, seeing how things progress. Just waiting for the call to hear that we're going to be able to start things up.
And then Indiana, we followed up the Hoosiers. A lot of expectations for Indiana this year, coming off of an 8-5 season. They've got Michael Penix back. I saw Wap Fillier post yesterday. He's the most productive returning player in the slot position. So a lot of expectations for Indiana coming into the season.
Yeah, for sure. It was really exciting watching them do so well last year. It made it a lot of fun to watch. Made me proud, to be a Hoosier. But yeah, I think there are a lot of expectations this year, a lot of things to build off of. And I think there's no reason that they can't, go even further than they did last year and just continue to win games. I'm really excited to watch them.
Any teammates that are Big Ten guys that you used to compete against?
Oh, with the Skins?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, we just drafted Chase Young, so I saw him for a couple of years there.
That's a good one. He's a good one.
he stayed on the edge most of the time, but that would. Trying to think, we got a lot of Alabama guys. I never saw any of them. Yeah, I think that'd be about it.
Just wondering if there'd be any friendly rivalries bets coming up this year, but as the Indiana continues to improve. But yeah, it's good to see the Hoosiers being in the conversation now for competing in the Big Ten East. And the Big Ten is going to be loaded again this year. My gosh.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Ryan Kerrigan. He's a Purdue guy. So.
Oh, there you go. Well, there's a big bet coming at the end of the season, surely. Well, Wes, I can't thank you enough for taking time to join us, man. I know you're getting ready to just try to, I guess, maybe have a final little vacation before the season gets started, but we appreciate you taking time to join us.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on.
Always, man. We'll look forward to following you this year and have a great season if we don't talk to you before the start of it.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Thank you. Wes Martin joining us, former Hoosier, current Washington Redskin, joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat. Can you imagine? Well, you can. You were in that era, but playing against guys for so long and then to play with them.
It's really interesting when you look at it. I think sometimes it disappoints when I tell them that there was a lot of guys on whose team that I was friends with, and I can't say it about Kentucky. That's one place I can always say. I've been asked a lot, what was the bigger rivalry, Kentucky or Purdue? And for me, it was always Kentucky. So it's just really in the world. I think it's even a lot more prevalent now that a lot of guys, play in different star games and different things together. So it's a lot friendlier than it used to be.
Hey, we got a lot more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat. Coming up next, I'm looking forward to talking to Dave Torphy. Tonight, the BTN, it's all IU day, all day today, right now. You can go on BTN. I don't know what's on there right now, but something's on. But tonight at 7:30, not pictured, unbelievably cool story. You're going to hear it next as Dave Torphy joins us on Indiana Sports Beat. Coyle Leary coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. We're back with more right after this.
Oh, baby, no, baby, you got me all wrong, baby. My baby's already got all of my love.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs, Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
I'm Rain Shaddy, and I'm a Hoosier. As a toddler, you could always find me running around in a cream and crimson onesie and a red IU hat reminiscent of those worn during the world-famous William Tell timeout, shouting, "Go Hoosiers!" Like many other alum, I chose to make Bloomington my home. As a civic and alumni leader, I have become very knowledgeable about our community and would love to share my insights with you as your realtor. Find me on Facebook or call or text me, Ryan Shaddy, with FC Tucker Bloomington Realtors at 765-623-9093.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the Golf Club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. This is Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary. Indiana Sports Beat is now a part of the Rivals Network. You can go to thehoosier.com to sign up. It's free. Catch the show there each day live or at your convenience. You can also like or follow us on Facebook, follow the show's rebroadcast anywhere you podcast. If we're not on a radio station where you live, we should be. Let your local station know they need to carry Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary, or simply go to thehoosier.com.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
Hey, this is Jordan Halls, former Indiana Hoosier. Keep up with Indiana sports on Indiana Sports Beat.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat. Coyle Leary coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios on this beautiful Thursday, June 11th. And joined now by Dave Torphy. Dave, thanks a lot for joining us.
My pleasure.
Man, I saw this story. I was not aware of this. I know there's a lot of Hoosier fans who are not, but they will be tonight. But this is an incredible story. I talked about it in the start of the show, but is your cousin, Bill's your cousin, right?
He was my first cousin, but I was born later. Like he had a daughter, and I were the same age.
This is one of the most incredible stories, but Indiana's first national championship team in 1940, it was on the road at Kansas, and you were only allowed to take 12 guys. Unfortunately, Bill didn't get to go on the trip, and because of that, he was one of the few guys that didn't make the picture, and then the credit was lost for so long of being on the team.
True. And I had noticed in the stadium up there that the picture only showed 11 in the championship team. And this is all explained in the documentary.
But Bill Torphy was from Bedford, from the Bedford area, huge IU hotbed, of course. But all this was rectified. But the documentary is on tonight at 7:30 on the Big Ten Network. And you're in the documentary, aren't you, Dave?
Yes, I was drafted because, unfortunately, I was the only one. My brother had, who knew him well, was 21 years older than me, and he was already dead. So it was a very bittersweet thing in our family, you know.
Right. And then, of course, the story of Bill, who went on to fight for our country and unfortunately was killed in World War II fighting in Normandy, France.
Right. And but it's a deal where Bill was on the team they discovered. He scored points, played minutes, and 14 guys lettered. So later they took the picture down and replaced it, and it says not pictured, and that's why they call that film Not Pictured.
That's pretty fun. How cool is this for your family? I mean, something so long ago, but so relevant, especially in a place where basketball is so relevant, obviously, Indiana, and to be a part of that first national championship, that's got to be pretty special for the Torphy family.
Oh, it sure was. But the problem is, I say in the video that it is so bittersweet because so many people who knew him and loved him weren't here to see all this.
Right. And I guess that's, a way that people, if we don't deal with it, we don't see that side of it, don't understand that. But it's sure great to see that for it to get rectified. It does stink that it's posthumously, but for the family, it's got to be a very, very proud beacon moment for them.
Oh, it sure is. And I think that, I think it brought back things to him and his family, his kids and his grandkids. That's what I'm saying.
Now, I know you've already seen this documentary, but most of the people have not. It's going to air tonight at 7:30 on the Big Ten Network, as today Indiana has taken over the Big Ten Network. It's IU programming all day long. It started at 6 a.m. It continues until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. The Bill Torphy documentary is going to run at 7:30. Then they're going to run the IU Kentucky game from 2011. And then there's a documentary on Christian Watford, who hits the shot afterwards, but kind of a cool thing to be buffered around that game.
Yes, and I was at that game.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's a big deal there.
So obviously you're a big IU fan, and how important is it to you? How cool was it to you when you found out all this stuff, or have you known all along?
Well, I was shocked. I knew that he was in the pictures except for the 1940 team. And I had this older brother I was telling you about, and I asked him about it through the years. And he said, well, things just probably got lost in the war, or maybe they didn't play that year. We just never, thought about it. But now, if Bill were still alive, see, he'd be over 100 years old. A personal friend of his is in the video, Bob Lee, and he died a couple of years ago at 96 years old, or maybe more than a couple. But this all happened in 1940, see, so we're talking a long time ago here.
Yeah, everybody thought that Damon Bailey was the first king from Bedford to go to IU, but there was somebody a long, long time ago.
There was a boy from Shawswick, Larry Turpin, played. He went up there in 63.
Well, very cool, Dave. I cannot thank you enough for taking time to join us today, but I hope everybody gets to go see that. I'm
looking so forward to seeing
this thing. The minute I heard about it, I was like, wow, what an incredible story. Well, thank you, Dave. Dave Torphy joining us from Bedford today here on Indiana Sports Beat. Again, what an incredible story. His cousin Bill Torphy was a member of Indiana's 1940 national championship team, but because of everything that was going on, World War II was going on, you could only take 12 players on the road when you traveled. And this game was at Kansas, the national championship game. then Indiana destroyed Kansas, by the way, on the road. But anyway, they only have 12 guys. They take the championship photo after the game. And that's the photo that had been used for so many years. And then questions started getting asked, and luckily things have been rectified. There was actually, I think, 23 people eventually on this roster, Jimmy, is what they included practice players, they included everything, but Phil Torphy was actually, like his cousin said, he played minutes, he scored, he was on other teams, he's pictured with other teams, so that would stink. But it's so cool for the Torphy family that has been rectified. But make sure you go see that today on the Big Ten Network. Again, that's at 7:30. And then the IU Kentucky game from 2011, or the watch shot, that's on next after that. And then after that, there's a new documentary on Christian Watford, which we'll see what that's about. I haven't seen that, but I haven't read much about that yet. Have you seen anything on that, Jimmy?
No, I haven't seen anything. I assume it's going to be about the shot, right?
Well, there's a good place to start. Boy, you're a regular detective there, Jimmy. I'm sure it's going to go into probably more than just the shot. It wouldn't last long. It took about a half a second, but yeah, it's probably going to sit around that. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to sit around. Maybe it's how it's changed his life. He won an ESPY for that, by the way.
Did he really?
A lot of people don't remember that. Yeah, he won an ESPY for, it was like whatever category they have, like biggest moment, biggest shot, something like that. I can't remember who he beat out, but yeah, it was pretty cool. He getting an ESPY.
Yeah, I did not know that. That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Todd had to step away for early today, so going solo now. But good having Dave Torphy on. That was an unbelievable story coming up. I can't wait to see this documentary. There's some history for you, young man.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I'm definitely gonna have to watch that one and the Watford one. So that'll be I'm looking forward to it.
Indiana's first national championship team in 1940 was the story we've been talking about in regards to that Torphy from Bedford didn't get the credit for all these years, and the family doesn't get the credit that's till now, but I'm glad they have. But man, that would stink to have all that lost.
Yeah, that's wild. I can't believe that. I guess I didn't even know that was a story. Like, if that tells you anything, the fact that I didn't even know about that, and that's crazy. I'm really excited to see what they say.
Incredible weather out today. I hope everybody gets out and gets to enjoy it. I know on Monday, the Fowl Golf Course at Indiana University opens to the public. So I'm sure I don't know if there's a tee time left. I would guess that there's probably not. But who knows? Give them a shot. But man, the weather is going to be unbelievable for the next week. So I'd say that the IU golf course is going to be pretty busy starting Monday, as are other golf courses, Eagle Point, Fritz Lick. But just opening up on Monday, that's got to be I wonder who's going to be the first, who has the first tee time on Monday. It'd be interesting for me to find that out. Mark Cuban. Well, that would be a smart guess. I don't think Mark's going to come in to play the course yet today, but hey, make sure you hit up on the Hoosier.com. Alec Lasley's got some great recruiting stories up there on the Indiana basketball coming up. He's working on some great stuff that we can't talk about just yet, but looking forward to that. Jimmy, what have you been doing to keep busy?
A whole bunch of nothing. Just doing this every day. Try and keep myself in shape. I try to work out. Worked out for the first time in a long time yesterday, so now I'm just sore. And then serving at Boom Boss.
As we head toward closer to the summer, people are getting out more and more. There's more and more sports. I know I was talking to Jordan Hulls yesterday. His training is really taken off. He's home from not playing. Well, I guess he would probably be home now normally anyway, but he was home early, and I need to ask him when he's going to be leaving, but he's not going to. His camps are still up in the air right now. Not sure what's going to happen with that. And thinking of that, there's camps for these kids all across the summer that they would normally go to, from elementary kids on up, that they're going to miss out on that. But luckily, people like Jordan, he's still training. So I'll have to get that information. We'll get that up on the Hoosier.com. But you can come to where he is and do personal training, but he's staying pretty busy with that, which is a good deal. But I can see I know what his future is going to be. He's going to be having an academy and doing this on the reg. I mean, he is still somebody that is really, really just looked up to, not only in Bloomington, but in Indiana as a whole.
Yeah, and I mean, I've only listened to him talk a couple times, and you can just tell he's the type of guy, too, where he's very personable, and you can listen to him, and he's going to be, once he's done with basketball and actually playing, he'll definitely be one of those guys. He's going to be a trainer. He'll have an academy, like you said. He'll do something, and I also wonder how, like, training for him's going during quarantine. I wonder if, with all this going on, is he training more often? Is he training harder, or is it the same as it usually is? I don't know. It's just different atmosphere. I wonder how it's going for him.
Also going on, the Major League Baseball draft is in day 2 today. Once that's complete, we'll have everything up there of what Indiana guys go. Last year, Indiana had 10 guys get selected in the draft. I don't know that Coach Mercer was expecting that. It was a program record. Cole Barr and Elijah Dunham both went 2 of the big hitters last year. Barr was selected by the Mariners, and Dunham went to the Pirates. But it'll be interesting to see who goes where. This year's NFL draft will only have 5 rounds due to COVID-19 pandemic instead of the traditional 40. So that's going to change a lot of lives. The draft will be conducted virtually tonight and tomorrow, or yesterday and today. But man, 5 rounds versus 40? That's crazy. That's, what is that, 5%? I mean, think of the guys that, well, you look at Kobar and Elijah Dunham specifically, they were drafted in the 37th and the 40th rounds. Well, but there's just that many good baseball players. That's why it goes so deep. But the sheer fact that imagine how many guys were drafted in rounds 6th through 40. That's how many will not get drafted this year.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of players. That's a lot of players. To me, I don't understand the point of that unless it's just they just absolutely do not have enough data on those players because of not having a season. But, man, that just sure seems like an unbelievably drastic cut to cut that many players out.
Yeah,
what do those guys do? Especially if they're a senior. And they'll remain eligible for the draft the following year, but you're going to have a whole nother crop of guys. So there's going to be a lot of people that do not go forward in baseball. And how many college teams did that affect? Had this been a year before and Dunham and Barr, they don't get drafted, obviously. Do they come back to Indiana because they were not seniors? How would that have affected the effect? You talk about a domino ripple effect. There's one for you.
Yeah, no kidding, because it affects the player immediately, and then you look at the college, it affects them. And if they leave or come back, depending on how that goes, you don't know how the college is going to go. So that's wild. I guess I didn't know that there was actually 40 rounds. I don't follow the MLB draft as much as I follow the NFL and NBA draft. So I guess I didn't know there were 40 rounds. That's crazy. And then only to go to 5. That's crazy. That's going to be insane. That's going to hurt a lot of people. I'll be curious to see how that plays out.
Tim, hit us up on the text line. And how about Zion's parents moving from a $150,000 home to a $900,000 home and 3 expensive cars after he signed with Duke?
I wonder why.
Dude, who doesn't know? Now, I'm going to guess that most of that money probably came from Adidas, but we don't know that. But the sheer fact, I want it to come out. Everybody wants it to come out, but you have to have this come out. You cannot allow a program like Duke to slide. There's absolutely no way in the world you can let them get by with this if it is shown that they were implicit in some form or fashion. Now, I'm sure that's going to be similar to Kansas, but I don't know that Krzyzewski wasn't smarter than Bill Self and did not have any communication with Brandon Dawkins or anybody from Kansas from Adidas, thanking them for helping them land players.
Well, that's what I was when you brought up Kansas, I was going to say it's kind of similar to the whole Kansas thing. Like Oklahoma State got banned from the postseason for, was it 1 infraction, I believe? And then Kansas has 5, and nothing's happened to them. So it's just weird.
It's still going. It's still going. It's an ongoing deal. But my point is, and there's a reason why Zion's former marketing team is asking for specific information through the court, because they know what the answers are. They already know the answers. They know the answers. That's why they're asking for it legally. They want them to have to provide it so they can show, see, he got this from them. See, he got X from them. He got Y from whatever. But they know where the skeletons are buried already. He screwed his marketing team over and went to a bigger contract, and they're like, whoa, time out, hold on. Yeah, I don't think that's so fast.
It just comes down to proof at this point.
I don't want it because I want somebody to be brought down, but it has to come to light because college basketball has to get back on an even playing field. For the last several years, Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, not on the same playing field. And it's got to end. It has to end. The fact that people like Will Wade still has a job, it's sad. It's just sad, and that stuff has to end. But I'm afraid not only is it not going to end, it's going to go in the wrong direction and continue going the wrong way, because the name, image, likeness, all that mess, it's not that it's not a good deal for the players. It's not manageable. It's just simply not manageable. You can't control this. You can't control, once it goes into place, there will be 10 ways for these guys to find people to find ways around where they can use it to cheat. And it's a catch-22. You don't want to see the players not get what they deserve, but at the same time, is it good for the whole? I don't know that it is.
Yeah, it's something like where people need. So going back to all the teams in college basketball not being on a level playing field, like teams need to be held accountable. And if they do get back to that level playing field, obviously I think things will be a lot more interesting. People will like it a lot better. But then the name, image, likeness, I don't know. It's going to be, when does that start? 2022? Is that right?
I don't know. They have a definitive start date yet, but I can't remember. But it's coming regardless, because Congress got involved, and that's another thing. They got involved not knowing what they were doing. They had no idea what they were doing. All they saw was a button that they could push that would get attention. That's the only reason those idiots got involved, because they do not understand that. How can you get involved and call for something without knowing everything? And they didn't know jack and jumped right in and said, "Oh, you got to do this." Well, it's not going to be to the benefit of college athletics. I can tell you that.
I don't think so either. I think it's gonna change a lot of things. A lot of things will be different, but I don't think it's gonna help that much at all.
Larry in Bloomington said these guys are all pathological cheaters. Bruce Pearl makes him puke.
Pearl, that's a good one. I forgot about him.
Need to pontificate on his righteous platitudes and motivations to coach. Just pitiful. Why would anyone want to be their coach or even play for him? I don't know. Yeah, he's one of those guys that has gotten in trouble multiple times. He got in trouble at Tennessee, and now he's not in trouble, I guess, at Auburn, but Auburn itself is in trouble. So there's not much that goes on that the head coach doesn't know about. Let's just be honest about it. I know Louisville is a situation where that's their argument, but yeah, not much goes on the head coach doesn't know. Hey, man, that's going to be wrap it up for today. It was a good show. Got Wes Martin on, and an unbelievable story on Big Ten Network. Bill Torphy's story, not pictured. Make sure you catch that tonight at 7:30. What an unbelievable story in regarding to a lost member of the 1940 national championship team for Indiana basketball. Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in today. We appreciate you guys. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow, Todd and I, as well as Jimmy. Until then, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.